and that we all will enjoy. They have set up so many appointments. The Cermak Plaza, I'm going to bring for an example. Alderman Avila has been very aggressive in trying to get some activity in that Berwyn Plaza. We've worked with the owner, who we've met with, who was in Illinois for the first time in all the years that I've been involved in politics. He was here to meet with us about our goal, our vision of what we want to see in that Cermak Plaza. Hopefully in March we're going to be seeing some renovation work over there. They're finalizing their plans. They've worked with us to try and do some of the landscaping and the parking lot renovation. So they've worked with us, we're working with them. We are also out there trying to get businesses into that private enterprise also. We are not leaving any stones unturned when it comes to telling everybody that Berwyn is here. We are an active community, and we are a community that you, Mr. Businessman, should be interested in, because we are a community that wants to spend money in quality stores. And we are willing to do so if you bring the projects to us. And our Berwyn Development Corporation is willing to work with you to help you bring those projects to us. That bank building on 22nd and Oak Park, if most of you noticed, is being renovated right now, so that by March of 2010, it's going to be ready for a tenant. I've been out there talking to people about bringing businesses in there. What we're looking for is an open-air kitchen. And we've got two very interested parties on the hook that I have personally spoken to try and get them in there. And we're going to work with them. Shortly in March of 2010, after the bank is renovated, you'll see the second phase of that project going up also, which will be retail on the first floor, and it'll be professional offices, doctors' offices in the high-rise. Condos are not going to fly in this day and age, folks. They're not going to sell. So we needed to change the structure of that project, and we think it's a viable project that's going to work for this community. On Roosevelt Road, the progress that's gone on Roosevelt Road with the new McDonald's, with the renovation of the Friendly Tap, with the renovation of Bona Beef, Alderman Loretto, I know I'm missing one. Citizens Bank, the new bank building on Roosevelt Road. Roosevelt Road is cleaning up nicely, and next year you're going to see that streetscape project that we've been talking about for years come into play. And that is occurring because we were able to, with our state legislator, Martin Sandoval, sit down with IDOT and impress upon them that they cannot put it off to 2013. We need it next year. And IDOT has opened up the doors to help us, because they're going to be redoing the Eisenhower Expressway in March of 2010. And obviously that's an alternative route. But they're going to work with us to try and get us right away, and as soon as they're done in the spring of 2010, hopefully by June or July, to be able to start our streetscape project. I pointed out again because of the cooperative effort that we've received from everybody, from state legislators to our Congressman Lipinski working on the quiet zone, to all our local entities in trying to do what is best for Berwyn.
Every 10 years, the government has a count of all the people. What does it mean? Well, I'll tell you one thing it means. It means $1,650 to the city of Berwyn for the 10 years for each person. So turn and look at each other, and if you can visualize, there's $1,650 on your forehead, and that's how much we're going to get for programs. Programs to help the police department, the fire department, the library, the schools, the health services, and everything else. And only you can make that number grow. So, here's what I want you to do. We've got literature in the back. We will come to your meetings. We want to encourage you to get your neighbors. When we send out the cards, the last 2 years I have spent putting every address for every house with every entrance that has an address into a computer. There are no names, absolutely no names. In March of next year, they will mail out a card. That card will come to your house, or that house, that address. There'll be 10 questions on there. We ask that you answer those questions, that you count everybody in your house, that you mail that card in, and the results will be more money for the fire department, the police department, the mayor, the schools, the health department, but only you can make it happen. So I want you to work on it. I want you to just think about it. I know it's not an invasion of your privacy. It's really helping your town. It'll make your town better because there'll be more money for more programs. I want to tell you one other thing. There's a lot of suspicion about what do they do with the information. Well, the government, the division of the government, the census, who is Department of the Commerce, is prohibited from sharing any of the information that they receive other than the numbers for 70 years. I had to sign a disclosure form to take this job, a volunteer job, that should I violate the law, I could be fined $500,000, which I don't have, and put in jail for 5 years, which I still don't have. So, I want to tell you that all the way from the director of the census on down, they have continually made this a point. And the part of it that makes it difficult is because we have many citizens in this town who are undocumented, and they may feel, oh, I'm not going to be counted. I don't want them coming after me. Well, believe me, it's not like that. INS, there is no other agency that has any interest in you. The only agency that has an interest in you is the U.S. Census, because the money comes back to the mayor, to the police chief, to the fire chief. So please help us. Everybody be counted next April 1st. Thank you.
Just so you're aware, that is completely volunteer. Bob had volunteered to head that committee. Also on that committee is Sarah Saines, who I pointed out earlier, who's been very active with that committee. And Alderman Paul has been very active with the Census Committee. In fact, she's our representative from the city there. So those people volunteer their time to make sure that the count gets out. And they've been very active. In fact, they've had meetings with other communities who are actually amazed that we are as far along in how we're proceeding with this than they are. So they've been very active in getting this off the ground. Also, Bob is our CDBG director. He handles our neighborhood stabilization request for funds for some of those foreclosed homes. And believe it or not, Berwyn was awarded during the one phase of $1.3 million when many of the communities around here received zero. And that's because of the active work that Bob did in putting together the plan to show the government that we need the money. So, Bob, we want to thank you for all your hard work.